This is Matt Russell, and welcome to the DailyFX Forum.
So here are the four pairs that I will be discussing this evening: the Euro Pound, the Aussie Kiwi, the Pound Swiss, and the Euro Swiss. So let's go ahead and pull up the charts. The first chart is the Euro Pound. If you recall, during the past several reports, the short trade off the doji candle up here down to the 87 figure, and then the long trade. I also mentioned on this long trade that we would look for targets near these highs up here, just above that 88 figure, about the 88.35 area. And right now, price is about 88.15. So if you're on the long side right now, I would go ahead and take profits and possibly now look for short trades a little bit higher than where we are now. Again, the level is 88.35 or 88, let's call it 88.40. I'd look for an entry maybe about the 88.25 area, and then place your stop maybe at the 88.50 or 88.60 area. But again, this is a low confidence trade, but as long as the risk to reward is favorable, we can go ahead and enter. The next chart is the Aussie Kiwi, and not much has changed here. Still just looking for some opportunities. I did move this, if you recall, during the past several reports. This channel line was here. I've gone ahead and moved it down to the lower location here, and so these are the support and resistance lines that I am using for the pair right now. And again, still just with prices in the middle of the range, there's not much to trade here. Possibly a head and shoulder. It would be a short-term head and shoulder here using the 23.30 area. That could be a potential short trade. I might have a tentative bearish bias against 23.30, but again, low confidence, and we need to get an entry close to 22.30 to keep the 23.30 to keep the risk to reward extremely favorable. The next chart is the Pound Swiss, and here prices did fall beneath that 72 figure. Personally, I was stopped out on this trade. I was again long off the double bottom. I took a little bit of profits, but not a lot, and then prices did come all the way back down, and I did get stopped out, and that's okay. That's part of trading. Sometimes you're going to get a perfect exit, and other times you're going to completely mess it up even though you got a good entry. That's just part of trading. Deal with it and move on. Look for the next opportunity. Speaking of which, with this ugly bearish engulfing candle here, I would have a tentative bearish bias against those previous lows if we can get a close beneath it on the daily level. So again, on the daily chart here, call this area about the 71.60, but I would need another 24 hours or so to see how this daily candle plays out, and if we get another close beneath that level, that could very well set up a short trade. The next chart is the Euro Swiss, and if you recall, during yesterday's or during Friday's report, I mentioned the possibility of a inverted head and shoulder pattern, but prices did kind of blow through that line on the right side here for the right shoulder. And again, when I mentioned during that report that one of the great things about head and shoulder patterns are the extremely favorable risk to reward ratios they can generate, again, because usually in these patterns, if prices are going to hold the last shoulder or the shoulder on the right, they usually do so within a few pips, and that means we can place extraordinarily tight stops. I was personally stopped out here with about a 25 pip loss, and again, that's just part of trading. The next chart, the next development here on the daily is a doji candle. So I would actually have a tentative bullish bias against the low of the doji. The low is 51.10, so that's the level that I would be using as my reference point. And right now, with prices at about the 51.20 area, this is a trade we can enter with very low risk. Maybe place a stop, maybe about the 51.05 area, or maybe even a little lower, maybe beneath the figure, maybe about 50.90 or so. And again, that's a very favorable risk to reward ratio. My confidence is low, but as long as the risk to reward ratio is extremely favorable, that compensates for that low confidence. Again, my name is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening, and please stay tuned for a preview of the DailyFX forums. I want to go ahead and formally welcome everybody to the DailyFX forum. And I want to explain a little bit about the forum and the wealth of information that you can obtain from the forum, and how to go about doing so, how to find the things you want. So I'm just going to dive right in right now, and this is DailyFX.com, and this is usually how I navigate my way towards the forums. Obviously, it really depends on each individual how they access the forums, but this is how I go ahead and do it. I go DailyFX.com, go ahead and click on the forum on top, and this brings you to the DailyFX forum homepage, and this highlights the most recent posts with the subject. So if you see anything that you're interested in, you can obviously go ahead and click. What I like to do is click on the forums tab like this, and go ahead and view the forums in the normal, typical way that forums are set up. And here you go. There are a bunch of threads down here. And I'm just going to go ahead and go directly to the forum the video you just viewed, where you viewed it. So let's go ahead. This is the DailyFX Instructor Tips Forum, identifying trades with DailyFX. That's me. And go ahead and click on the most recent post. So this is where you are right now viewing the video, although the video will be the video beneath this one that you're watching right now. So normally when I'm on the forums, and what I would do is just scroll up to the top. Certainly you can check out any of my previous videos, and you know, especially if I did mention them in the report or in the video that you're viewing at that moment. And what I will do is go ahead and click on the forums, and then look for the forums that I like, you know, that I have interest in. One of them would be the Euro-Dollar forum, and this, again, it's really up to each individual trader as to exactly how they want to use the forum. Personally, what I like to do, the first thing I do is I'll go to the Euro-Dollar thread, I'll go and click on the latest post. And what I'll do here is, and again, I just want to, you know, really emphasize this point. It depends on your exact mindset when you're viewing. And me as a trader, I have some experience. So what I do and how I personally use the forum is I go through and I'll read what people are saying about the euro, what their trade ideas are. I certainly, you know, try to maintain my own individual objectivity, and I really don't pay much attention to what other traders are saying in terms of my trading. I'm not going to certainly see something on a forum and then go jump into a trade, but what it will do, it will open my eyes to certain trading opportunities, maybe a certain line or a certain time frame that I haven't looked at before. So that's one way that I personally like to utilize the DailyFX forum. But certainly for newer traders, there are plenty of topics that you can go over. Let's say, you know, you might not be well versed in terms of certain currency pairs that you want to learn about. Scalping, you might not know what Elliott wave is. You can go ahead and click there and see exactly what you can, you know, what you can understand, what you might not understand, and then certainly feel free to ask questions about any of these topics that you have. Maybe the carry trade, maybe you have some questions about that, or the sentiment, the SSI, or the latest economic news, FX programmers, the webinars, MT4. Any questions about active trader, you can go ahead and click on those threads. So again, it's very free, very open, and there is a wealth of information here and just waiting for to be utilized. Again, this is Matt Russell. Thank you for listening.